It's the OCG Fam Show. How late into flower should you use Bloom Khaos? It's a good question. Hey there! Bob from Oregon's Constant Gardener. Welcome to the OCG Fam Show to you, my YouTube buddies. What's going on? Let me know in the comments down there and we'll talk about it after the show. But right now, let's just get into the show because I want to talk to you about yesterday's show a little bit. We were talking about Bloom Khaos and whether you should use it as a foliar or as a root drench or both. And obviously when I'm talking about that, maybe not obviously, but I wanted to mention this. When we're talking about the choice of using it as a foliar or a root drench, that choice is when you're in veg and then maybe a little bit into flower. Once you've got flower sites on there, you're probably not going to want to spray anything on those. Nothing. Just root drench at that point. But that begs the question, so when you get into flower and you're doing that root drench and you're getting toward the end of your life cycle, how deep into that do you get before you stop the Bloom Khaos? If when you're in the ripening process, you know, you're kind of final flush at the end, what's the story with that? Well, I was wondering that myself, so I looked back through the archives and I found quite a while ago viewer questions episode we did with Scott where he talked about just this subject, so I wanted to show you that little clip. So watch this and I'll talk to you after.
Getting toward the end of flower, when do you cut off BK? Do you taper off before you just do you taper off or before you flush just cut it out? I made the mistake of stopping early last run. I thought I was an 8-week strain, ended up being more like a 10-week, and I lost about 3 weeks and wanted to see what Scott had to say. Thanks. How do you, when you get down to the end with the BK?
I've done
Bloom
it both
Khaos.
ways.
Yeah.
Bloom Khaos, yeah. I've done it both ways, and psychologically, or however you want to say it, I think I felt like the flavor profiles with it running all the way to the last watering with Herculean, I didn't like that finished product as much as I liked when I got, so like on an 8-week, or in your case a 10-week, you know, going 8.5 weeks with the Khaos, and then when I cut everything else out and just focus on the Herculean and Aphrodite section of the flush, I just leave it out. Now, with that being said, trying the full-on at that time as kind of replacing that, because now I'm still getting that humic in there, I'm still getting the fulvics in there.
Okay.
But we're drawing out some of the heavy metals at the same time. I think I got a smoother finish from using full-on at 1 to 2 mils towards the last 10 days than I did using Khaos as a calcium facilitator in the last 10 days.
Okay. So they have some overlap in that section of it, whereas...
Yeah, kind of. I mean, it's more of the humic piece to that, and it's about the chelation. My problem with Khaos is that it's still trying to make the plant do something. Yeah. And even though, I mean, Bloom Khaos will enhance every stage you're doing except for dying. Unless you really want to like kill them in the 3rd week of bloom. Easy to do with Khaos.
Yeah,
but I think what happens at the last is it's when you put that Khaos on there, it's telling the plant you got to keep producing, you got to keep splitting cells, keep making. So the plant's trying to access nutrition it can't, and it starts to crash. And I don't think we're transferring sucrose and dextrose the same at that level. I don't think we're not sweetening up the final finished product better by using Khaos in the last 10 days. I think we're trying to pull up too much nutrition at the end. So I cut it out in the last 10 days and then either just Herc and Aphrodites or just water.
Okay, what do you think of that? Was that helpful? Was that informative? Was it entertaining? Did you get anything out of that? Let me know about that. Also, do you have other questions about Bloom Khaos or anything else involving nectar or life in general? Put them in the comments. We'll talk about them. I love you. I'll see you tomorrow. The OCG Fam Show, it's pretty good. It happens every day. It's the OCG Fam Show. See you tomorrow.